Dear traveler, welcome to Sunset Moon, a charming, atmospheric, mini open world game where cozy countryside meets secrets lurking beneath the surface. Play solo or jump into couch co-op and build a life together in a world that blends life sim, dating sim, RPG, adventure, family drama, and small town mystery, all wrapped inside a tiny pixel island. What is a mini open world, you might wonder? Well, what if I told you that you can gather resources, farm, buy land from the bank and expand your farming spots, but be careful, if you plow on land you don't own, the bank manager will put an end to it. Help out the care center by mixing medicines and give it to the patients. Make care packs for the friends you love. Read books, have fika, raise a family, send your kids to school where they can earn coins and buy drinks or moonbound cars they can collect. Build a treehouse for the kids, go swimming, sunbathe, work out, relax and enjoy your hobbies. Go to the arcade hall or buy your very own Super Game Station. Play video games from the comfort of your couch. Read Super Game Station magazines to learn more about the games you just bought, just like you had to do back in the 90s. Play beach volleyball in the summer, ice hockey in the winter, bowl, visit the hot springs, attend spring, summer, fall and winter markets where you can find rare items, celebrate Sakura Festival, Midsummer, Halloween, Christmas, New Year's, festivals all year round. But Sunset Moon isn't just cozy. If you fail as a farmer or fail to pay your rent, you end up homeless. But don't worry, Sunset Moon offers social welfare to support locals who struggle. Or, you can scavenge trash cans, go fishing, gamble, drink, visit the strip club, go to Soaplad, attend wild parties, pillow talk, smoke, do street performances, snooze out, go to AA meetings if your addiction go too far. Or even deeper. Explore the catacombs, solve mysteries, touch a nail and turn into a gnome. Better yet, it all works in tandem, even in 4-player co-op. This game offers drop-in and drop-out couch co-op inside a game that already offers drop-in and drop-out couch co-op. Besides, if you play as a family, you want to make sure your kids can do these silly little side gigs while you and your partner focus on the main story. It's a perfect family game, but more on that later. While you do all of this, you're accompanied by music composed exclusively for Sunset Moon by Johannes Nilsson, an extraordinary composer working at T-Max in Tokyo under Yasuharu Takanashi's leadership. He's known for Naruto, Fairy Tail, Sailor Moon and many more. This is a huge get for such a small indie game studio. Johannes is a perfect fit since we both grew up in the Swedish countryside and both moved to Tokyo. That's where we met. Sunset Moon is heavily inspired by the countryside culture from the 90s and early 2000s. Nature close by, everyone knows everyone, children running around having fun, freedom, cute events set up by the locals, seasonal changes, the simple days before the internet. And it's perfectly reflected directly in the soundtrack as well. You start off alone, or with friends, as a couple, as newlyweds, or as a family, single mom with 3 kids, single dad with 2 kids, well, you get the point. Have just arrived on Sunset Moon. Sadly, the boat was delayed, so you missed your own welcome party. No matter how you play the game, it's important to understand that player 1 is the grandchild of Frank. The story centers around his declining mental health and your missing grandmother. Of course, there is a detective on Sunset Moon as well, tasked by the mayor to figure out what happened to your lovely grandmother. The main story drags on for 2 in-game years and has some of the craziest twists ever in a game like this. The fact that you live with the #1 suspect of your grandmother's disappearance, unless you move out, and the fact that he spends a lot of time in his secret room behind the bookshelves is enough to make the player feel uneasy around Mr. Frank. Rest assured, the finale of the main story is something no one could expect, but let's not spoil that. Instead, I would like to show off more from Sunset Moon and what makes it one of the most unique live sim games ever made. To make the presentation easy to follow, I will show most footage in single player mode, but remember, it's all doable in 4-player split screen, which is one of the game's most unique features, with many firsts in terms of things that have never been done before. I will go in depth on that later in the presentation. For now, let's talk to the mayor of Sunset Moon. Drunk as usual, when the town gets together to celebrate. If a child talks to, in this case, the mayor, the conversation is short, precise, straight to the point, and easy for a child to read. If a teenager talks to an NPC, the conversations are slightly longer and a little bit more complex. If an adult talks to an NPC, the conversation is at its full length, and it adapts to your gender, your reason of stay, your family situation, your class, and other factors. This means that each player will have his or her own unique experience on Sunset Moon. Also, each NPC has her own preferences in whom they want and what they want. Who they want to date, who they don't want to date, based on class, age, gender, and other factors. For example, if you want to date a woman from the elite, it doesn't necessarily mean you can do that until you reach elite class yourself. Once you have reached the elite class, that girl still might put you in a friend zone because of other factors. Not only is this unique, it also allows for sad, beautiful, and funny stories. Here's an example. It's a city, a macho guy from Shantytown who is easy to date as a female player, but once married, it quickly goes south. Meanwhile, if you approach him as a male player and break his anti-gay macho facade, you will find yourself the man you always dreamt of, if men is what you're into. The dating mechanic in Sunset Moon is as deep and complex as you want to make it, but getting to the altar is not as simple as giving an item to someone every day, like you would expect in a game like this. Some characters' storylines require more hard work than that. But once you're at the altar with the person you love, all that hard work will pay off. But you better be there before 2 p.m. or you have officially left him or her at the altar. Not good. Once married, a new storyline begins as a married couple to test your loyalty to the person you claim to love. This is where he or she will pull out his own skeletons from the closet. If this is too much for you, you can always try to have an affair on your life partner. And who knows, maybe some of the locals will have an affair on you. Which ones? I'm not gonna tell. Every NPC has her own tailor-made story to tell. To make it doesn't feel overwhelming, the stories are triggered by your actions throughout the game. For example, Dr. Cat's storyline is triggered if you overwork or get beaten up. You will then wake up in the hospital where it triggers her storyline. It could turn into a love story if you fancy her, or a friend zone story if you don't fall for her flirty personality. You decide by simply navigating the conversations. If a successful, beautiful doctor wants to, then why not try Love is Blind if the opportunity arises? This storyline can be triggered for both male and female players. A random phone call on a random day, and you might end up madly in love. Or are you being catfished? Welcome to Shantytown. This is the home for the carefree criminals, sex workers, loan sharks, the red district of Sunset Moon, so to speak. But don't worry, children cannot enter Shantytown without an adult. If you play family mode, that responsibility is in your hands, parents. Down here, you survive by breaking into homes, go fishing, gambling, robbing Sunset Moonians, dealing drugs, avoiding the cops. Life is tough down here, and making an honest living is hard, but not impossible. Luckily, the sushi and ramen shop in Shantytown is famous all over Sunset Moon and the mainland. This is where you can help out by farming a dangerous underwater farm and work at the sushi restaurant by making food for the locals. Another way to make some money is by playing a dark night, breaking into homes while you sleep, read the diaries and help them out. According to Sunset Moon lore, there are helpful gnomes on the island, so you might as well pretend to be one and make some extra cash. It's tough down here, so if the shanty life gets the better of you, it's never too late to become a good person. Sunset Moonians are forgiving and will let you back into the warmth again. Moonbound, Sumo Shogun, Red Colony Origin, Pong from Hell, Blunda, and many more games are currently under development by the local game dev. Every season, for 2 years, a new game is released on the Super Game Station. Some of the games offer local couch co-op, while others are story-driven single-player games. The Super Game Station even have its own medal system where you can brag to your friends about who's the best. Side note, if you get X amount of platinum medals, a player's storyline will kick in. As I mentioned before, storyline get triggered by your actions. This is great for online communities and a way to encourage the player to try new things once he or she understand that things happen based on your curiosity. The catacombs, where the moon dwellers dwell. Not only is this a place to explore and find out about the lore of Sunset Moon, this is where you might run into moon dwellers. According to lore, 11 moonfolks descended to Sunset Moon back in the olden days. A troll mother bred with them and gave birth to new creatures that the people of the olden days forced into the catacombs, where they have lived ever since. If the lore won't lure you into the catacombs, the resources will. This is where you will find and enjoy a super fun strategic resource minigame. Think Mr. Driller and Pac-Man. Different TNTs with different explosion patterns will help you strategically avoid monster blocks. If a monster block is hit, it will spawn above you and jank you up from the depth that you're at. In co-op, one strategy is to let one player dig and one player fight. Fighting enemies gives you unique resources, but if you don't want to kill them, hurt them enough and throw an empty moonbound card at it. This will turn the moon dweller into a moonbud that will help you battle other NPCs or family members in a very popular game on Sunset Moon called Moonbound. Easy to learn, hard to master. It's a super popular game on Sunset Moon, especially among kids. They have a tendency to want to catch them all, while adults tend to be more curious to find out what hides at level -100. Legend has it that one of the troll mother's offsprings was an enormous dragon who later laid an egg down there that never cracked. Now let's talk about the heart of what makes Sunset Moon's co-op truly special, the drop in and out family mode. The idea behind the family mode came from my own experience trying to have a nice calm gaming session with my family. It's hard to find time for the whole family to play together. There's always something going on. That's why Sunset Moon have solved this in a unique, never done before type of way. You arrive as a family, but you don't always have to play together. For example, if my wife gets a phone call, instead of pausing the game, she just has to jump out or leave her player idle mode, and boom, her character turns into an NPC. It will continue walking around, go to bed and be alive even though my wife is not actually playing with us. Let's say the three of us play and it's time for our son to sleep. It's my turn to put him to sleep. No need to stop the game. Our characters simply turn into NPCs and my wife can continue playing as if we were still there. This unique drop in and drop out couch co-op with this NPC mode makes it super easy to join and quit anytime you want and still progress in the game. What's even better is that it allows us adults to explore the more adult themes in the game or focus on the main story when our kids are not around. Easy to advertise. The game is super diverse, strong emotional hooks, highly streamable and community driven, naturally expandable with seasonal updates and new minigames. It appeals to multiple audiences at once, the cozy gamers, RPG fans, families, and the player who wants something more twisted. Built for couch co-op, something that the industry is starving for, and it's a game that is simple to understand but impossible to fully predict. Sunset Moon isn't just a game about building a farm, it's about building a life, breaking it and fixing it. I didn't set out to make a big open world, I set out to make a small one that feels alive, and Sunset Moon is shaping up to be the biggest, smallest game ever made. Thank you. Good job guys.
お疲れ様。
Kan vi gå och spela? Och sen vad händer nu?